No mercy can be afforded. In this arena, a single mistake means a slow and agonizing death from neurotoxic venom.
Striking by sound and shadow, the father deploys a lethal defensive blow, fracturing the snake's advance before the predator can coil.
On the brutal plains of the Serengeti, survival does not always belong to the apex cats, but to a winged monarch.
With a crest resembling the quill pens of ancient scribes, this bizarre predator possesses an evolutionary vision so sharp.
Unlike other birds of prey that strike from the heavens, the secretarybird is an evolutionary anomaly, an eagle that... These wings are not just for flight. They are tools of misdirection, a visual shield used to confuse. In the shadows of the savanna, death moves on silent scales. But today, the hunter has become the hunted. The target is locked. A clash of lethal instincts is about to unfold on this patch of scorched earth, raising a hood that paralyzes most animals with fear.
The attack is instantaneous, combining the agility of a dancer with the raw power of a sledgehammer.
Evolution has perfected this kick. At 5 times the force of gravity, the blow delivers a lethal...
The cobra strikes in vain, biting only empty feathers as the bird uses its wings like a matador's cape, deflecting death with flawless precision.
No mercy can be afforded. In this arena, a single mistake means a slow and agonizing death from neurotoxic venom. The battle is won. The Serpent Slayer claims its prize, cleansing the immediate territory of a lethal threat. A meal rich in protein, but one at the risk of life itself, securing the energy needs to survive another grueling day on the savanna. But on these plains, a successful hunt always attracts unwanted eyes. The scent of blood has drawn a master of ambush. The secretarybird's survival depends on an early warning system. It cannot afford to be surprised by the ghost of the thicket.
With matching speed, the bird deploys its secondary defense, flight, escaping the terrestrial jaws by a matter of inches.
From the heavens, the savanna reveals its true scale, a beautiful, unforgiving maze where only the vigilant see the next sunrise.
The search for sustenance is never-ending. Every creature on this ground is either a competitor, a predator, or prey. Its legs are versatile weapons, capable of delivering lateral blows to dislodge armored targets and drive away nest thieves. Opportunistic and highly adaptable, the bird clears the landscape of pests, acting as a crucial regulator in the delicate African ecosystem.
Fire, the great cleanser of the plains. For most, it is a disaster, but for the Serpent Slayer, it is an unprecedented harvest. Walking the line between life and incinerated death, the bird exploits the chaos, harvesting the casualties of the inferno. His legs are built like armor, resistant to heat and impervious to the minor strikes of defensive prey. In this ocean of grass and fire, a solitary existence is impossible. To build a legacy, a partnership must be forged. As the first chapter of day closes, the monarchs of the ground for their greatest challenge yet. With the arrival of the breeding season, the solitary hunters must shift focus from individual survival to the shared responsibility of continuing the bloodline. The courtship begins on the ground, where the male displays genetic fitness through a stylized parade, flashing vibrant facial colors to catch the female's critical gaze. In the avian world of the savanna, selection is strict. A female commits for life, demanding only the strongest, most resilient partner. Taking the display to the heavens, the male initiates an epic aerial performance, challenging the sky to prove engineering mastery.
The female joins the ascent, transforming the courtship into a high-altitude aerial ballet that tests speed, endurance and coordination in the thin mountain air.
A dangerous dance of trust. Interlocking claws in a free-fall plunge, the pair demonstrates absolute mastery over the treacherous thermal wind currents. The bond is sealed. For these birds, partnership is an unbreakable contract, a lifelong alliance forged to withstand the brutal wilderness. The choice of location is a strategic masterpiece. The highest peak of a thorny acacia offers an inaccessible fortress. Construction begins on the ground, requiring the male to gather heavy timber spikes to build a cradle high in the sky. The female acts as the chief architect, organizing the timber into a platform that can measure up to 8 feet wide and weigh hundreds of pounds.
Resourceful and opportunistic, The birds harvest unconventional materials, using discarded predator fur to create
The fortress is ready. Within this high-altitude sanctuary, the most vulnerable chapter of the savanna dynasty of the battler eagle is about to begin.
As the architectural phase ends, the biological clock takes over, triggering the transition from builders to expectant parents. But even a fortress has vulnerabilities. In the dead of night, a silent, cold-blooded raider tests the defenses. Vigilance cannot waver. The guardian detects the predator, preparing to defend the territory in absolute darkness. Striking by sound and shadow, the father deploys a lethal defensive blow, fracturing the snake's advance before the predator can coil. The nocturnal assault is broken. The price of safety is eternal alertness, paid in full by the unyielding sentry. Dawn brings the ultimate reward. The first egg is laid, a fragile vessel holding the genetic future of the Serpent Slayers. Incubation demands absolute precision. The egg must be rotated regularly to prevent the embryo from adhering to the inner shell membrane. The partnership evolves. While the female incubates, the male assumes the role of sole provider, bringing food and green nesting materials to maintain humidity. Every eye on the savanna is a potential threat. The father stands as an aggressive barrier, warning the circling scavengers that entry means death. With the first egg secure and the defenses tested, the monarchs of the acacia tree prepare for the long, grueling wait. As the dry season intensifies, the acacia fortress transforms into an oven, testing the endurance of the events. When ground temperatures exceed 40 degrees Celsius, the mother must switch tactics, using a giant body like a parrot. Water is scarce, forcing the father to scour the parched landscape for moisture-rich prey, the only source of hydration for the nesting partner. Seasons. The desert leaves animals desperate. A troop of baboons converges on the tree, and an opportunistic male decides.
Trapped between maternal instinct and a dangerous primate, the mother stands ground, transforming into a ferocious barrier of feathers and talons.
Returning just in time, the father delivers an aerial ambush, utilizing gravitational velocity away from the family line. The perimeter is secured once more, but the victory is temporary. On these plains, hunger makes predators relentless. Despite the chaos of conflict, the strict routine of incubation cannot be disrupted, requiring delicate management of the future generation. A new threat appears from the heavens, the martial eagle, an apex aerial predator capable of overpowering adult birds and clearing nests. Against a rival king of the air, the father displays maximum size, a visual declaration that the acacia fortress will not be surrendered without a deadly struggle. A battle of nerves is won. In the wilderness, showing weakness is an invitation to die, while confidence can avert disaster. Nature unleashes a different adversary. A sudden dust storm batters the canopy, threatening to tear the massive nest from its anchor points. Acting as a living anchor, the mother endures the blinding sand and violent wind, shielding the fragile shells with every ounce of physical strength. A true alliance is defined by shared survival. The tempest subsides, leaving a painted sky and a stark reminder that the savanna spares only the most resilient dynasties. In the quiet hours, a master of stealth attempts to bypass the perimeter, targeting the eggs from the blind spot directly beneath the structure. Even in slumber, the mother's senses are highly attuned to danger. A single tremor betrays the silent raider, sealing the reptile's fate. In effortless execution, the potential predator is converted into a vital source of protein to sustain the long incubation journey.
Time is drawing near. 40 days of unyielding defense have brought the pair to the threshold of the ultimate transformation.
A microscopic fracture signals a monumental shift. After weeks of isolation, the next generation begins the violent exit into the light. The mother watches the miraculous awakening, ready to transition from a fierce warrior into a nurturing guide for the fragile newborns. The struggle to survive begins at birth. The hatchling must expend every ounce of embryonic energy to shatter the prison of the shell. The first milestone is reached. The Serpent Slayers have successfully brought a new life into the crucible of the Serengeti plains. A new chapter unfolds on the high peaks of the acacia. The arrival of the hatchlings accelerates the pace of survival, transforming the acacia fortress into a high-stakes nursery where hunger is a constant shadow. The luxury of rest is gone. The father must now walk double the distance, searching for soft, easily digestible prey to sustain the vulnerable infants. In the early weeks, hunting demands delicacy. The prey must be small and soft enough for the undeveloped digestive tracts of the hatchlings. Every successful hunt is a battle against the elements, requiring the provider to navigate treacherous wind tunnels while carrying vital lifelines.
Many viewers do not know that the parents do not bring solid meat at first.
This biological milk, rich in proteins and moisture, is the only shield the chicks have against the dehydrating fury of the African summer. On the ground, every sign of life is an invitation to predators. The scent of birth draws scavengers to the perimeter of the fortress. Camouflage and silence become the primary defense. The mother transforms into a living roof, concealing the infants from the sharp eyes of ground hunters. A brutal reality of the savanna. Sibling rivalry begins early, as the firstborn utilizes size dominance. The landscape offers no handouts. The father must exploit every environmental disaster, harvesting the casualties of the fire to keep the nursery alive. Deadly mechanical precision, the bird deploys the signature stomp, neutralizing a venomous threat and turning a hazard into a high-protein feast for the family. Nothing is wasted. The venomous predator is systematically dismantled, transformed into safe sustenance through the bird's robust digestive defenses. As the weeks progress, the diet shifts from fluid to solid. The mother meticulously shreds the prey, training the chick's stomach for the predatory life ahead. A new aerial menace encroaches on the territory, the tawny eagle, an opportunistic predator of nests. Eternal fury knows no bounds. The mother displays absolute aggression, commanding the airspace around the nursery with an intimidating show of force. The eagle retreats, but the sky unleashes a different adversary, as a wall of red dust threatens to engulf the high-altitude sanctuary. In the face of nature's wrath, the parents unite, forming an unbreakable biological shield to protect the fragile lives from the sun. Instinct awakens. The young chick rehearses the ancestral dance of death, mimicking the hunting techniques of the adult. The provider continues without pause, driven by an ancient genetic mandate to outlast the dry season at all costs. One king remains in the cradle. The surviving heir consolidates the gains of parental sacrifice, transforming energy into pure muscle and potential. The battle of the nursery draws to a close. The young slayer has survived the crucible of hunger, wind, and prey. The final chapter of the cradle opens. The young slayer stands on the threshold of maturity. Instinct commands the young monarch to move forward, but the towering height of the acacia tree presents a terrifying vertical abyss that must be conquered. The role of the providers now shifts from nourishment to liberation. The adult birds use vocal cues and distance to days. The nest becomes an athletic arena, a training ground where flight muscles are conditioned to fight gravity and seize control of the wind.
The savanna does not forgive a failed first flight. Below the cradle, opportunists wait for slightest.
Hunger is deployed as a strategic tool. The parents intentionally withhold direct feeding, transforming appetite into the ultimate motivation to leave the canopy. The target is locked. The predatory drive overpowers the fear of the fall, igniting the spark of independence inside the young eagle. The leap is taken. Breaking the chains of geography, the young slayer catches the invisible hands of the thermal winds, ascending into a new realm of existence. Flight is achieved. The fledgling joins the elite ranks of the avian masters, mapping the vast contours of the territory from the heavens. Mysteries. The transition back to the earth is a test of structural integrity. The long legs function like landing gear. Ground genetic blueprint is present, but execution requires practice. The young hunter must calibrate the timing of the strike through real-world trial and error. The curriculum of survival continues on the ground. The mother provides a masterclass in tracking, teaching the offspring how to read the silent language of the grass. Success. The first independent harvest is secured, marking the transformation from a dependent mouth into an active regulator of the savanna ecosystem. But security is a luxury that never lasts. A sudden invasion by wild dogs shatters the family unit. The umbilical cord of nature is severed by chaos. Left alone in the wilderness, the young slayer faces the true beginning of an individual survival saga. The landscape changes, and so does the dynamic of power. Outlasting the crucible of drought, the young The circle continues. The survivor will eventually find a partner, construct a new fortress of thorns. Molded by fire, wind, and the venom of the earth, the Serpent Slayer walked. As the first chapter of day closes, the monarchs of the ground for their greatest challenge yet.